What's going on, everybody? Nico here with the Wooden Spoon, and welcome to another episode of The Sit Down. I got a very special guest, a friend of mine who's been a friend for about a year now. So happy that we connected. It is the Boston Guido. What's going on, my man?
What's up, everybody? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. You're the first guest of 2021 on The Sit Down.
Holy shit, that's awesome. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Couldn't have picked a better guest.
Good. Absolutely. I'm the first of 2021. Hopefully it'll be a great year for us.
I think so. I couldn't believe. I didn't get to say it on the last podcast, but December was a record-breaking month for the podcast.
I know. I seen that. You posted that. That was
literally
amazing.
almost 6 times the viewership of what we got in December, just out of nowhere. So thank you, everybody who's been watching, who's been listening, who's been supporting. We definitely want to take this podcast the farthest it could go. You know?
Absolutely. You put on good shows. You do a great job. Congratulations on that.
I appreciate that.
On that. And I really appreciate you calling me a friend. I consider you a friend as well.
Absolutely. One of my favorite friends that I've met online. Hopefully we'll get together really soon.
We'll get together. You've helped me. I want to let everybody know that you've helped me on some things and you've been really good, and I appreciate how respectful you are and old school for a young kid. I always tell you that.
Yeah.
And
thank
you for being there for me.
Oh, thank you for being there for me too, man. So
no problem.
How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? What you been up to?
Christmas was great. My brother come up. My brother recently moved to Georgia, so he came up. It was good to spend time with him and my niece, and the family. I mean, it wasn't as, the Italian Christmases and stuff like that. It's usually, you have a banging Christmas, but a lot of the older Italians are, they're older, and so we didn't do much stuff with them because of the COVID, but we did the best of it. I mean, it was busy for me. I did the Guido on the shelf.
Oh my God, I know. I would definitely want to talk about the two. For everybody that doesn't know, that doesn't follow the Boston Guido, follow the Boston Guido one. Is it at the Boston Guido, or is it just at Boston Guido?
Yeah, at the Boston Guido. Yeah.
So you did like kind of your own twist on Elf on a Shelf, where you had the Elf on the Shelf costume, and it was Guido on the shelf all December.
Yeah. And you know what? Growing up, like, I don't remember that. I don't think we had Elf on the Shelf.
No, that's I don't even think that was when I was a kid.
10, 15 years maybe.
Not even.
Maybe not even, right. And then, so what happened was I just, I hated that thing, with me having kids. My kids are old, and I'm like, what's this stupid thing? What's Santa Claus, And so then I just, I come up with that. I go, you know what, Guido on the shelf. So I got the costume on Amazon, and my son filmed it. We did the first introduction. And then I said to my son, I go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the Guido on the shelf every night until Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking that it was a pain in the ass to come up with things every night.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
And the suit made me itchy. It drove me crazy. I don't know what it was. I washed it 3 times inside out. So, I mean, it was fun. Everybody was messaging me, hey, do this and do that and have them fall down. And it was like, it was awesome. It was fun. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it every night. I did it every night and I didn't want to pre-record a lot of them because I wanted to do that, but it was to avoid the itchy, you know what I mean? But I didn't want to pre-record them because there was ideas coming in. Then I was going to go do something, and then an idea would come in, and I'd be like, wow, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that instead. So I mentioned to my son, Carlo, let's do that. Oh, yeah, that's awesome, so never again, though. But it was fun. Hey, I love Christmas.
Yes, yes. I'm a big Christmas fan, too. But it's funny to see, like, somebody kind of just – I kind of want to talk about this. I'm not even sure how to correctly word this, but somebody as old school as you, longtime business owner, old school Italian, to like hop on social media and kind of just go crazy and not give a shit what everybody thinks. Because like I know from experience, I've done some stupid videos that have honestly flopped, like barely any views, and made a fool of myself. But you can't like really care about what people think too. So how do you like, what was like the crossover point to like, screw it, I'm gonna go on social media, I'm gonna be old school but kind of just have fun with it?
Well, I mean, basically, I've been in my own business for almost 21 years. I'll be 21 years this spring. So, like, back then, it was always just advertisement with, like, the phone books or whatever. So I switched over to the social media about, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, something like that. Maybe a little, about 3 years ago, maybe a little less, for my business, and I was just good at the Instagram, you know.
Mhm.
And years ago, I did some bodyguarding and little things for certain people, and I was actually out on YouTube, and I was doing some things in my mid-30s, and I had a taste of the limelight, you know, being out bodyguarding. You know, you're young, you have more hair, you're tan, you know, I'm bigger than what I was younger looking. You were like the Guido, you know. So I had fun with that, and then just my business I really focused on my business. My business was booming at the time, and it was like the Boston Guido back then or my business, you know.
Mhm.
And then obviously I chose my business, and you know, and now I'm really, really established. I have a business partner that runs the field, and I run the office and the payroll, the insurance, stuff like that. So, you know, I'm a few years older than him, so I'm able to, you know, to have a little bit more freedom and just
Yeah.
get wild. And then I started again with like I said, with the social media and, you know, being funny like the old school Italians. I'm sure in your family and everybody's family, I was raised by my grandparents. My grandfather was very funny.
Mhm.
All the uncles, they would always dress up, break balls, you know. So I have a lot of them, you know, because I was with them a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, you make a fool out of yourself for sure. Like the Guido on the shelf. I mean, I should have just did that one video, coming up slow motion and then being done.
I looked forward to them. I thought they were
I
hilarious.
know. But I mean, you got this big guy over here. I mean, I'm 245, 6 feet and a half, 6'1", whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, what am I doing? I look more like a leg breaker, and then all of a sudden I'm in an elf suit. You know what I mean? So, but I love comedy too. I love to be funny. I was always a class clown. I was always a troubled kid in high
Mhm.
school, as far as like just being funny, out of control, and that's my personality. I mean, I mean, I can be serious when I want to be serious,
Mhm.
and I can be funny when I want to be funny. I like to make people laugh, and I'm really glad I connected with a lot of good people on Instagram. So I'm also grateful for this.
Yeah, where do you see like being old school benefiting people on social media? Because like a lot of people, they don't. I mean, some people possess like the old school mentality and they kind of like shy away from social media because of it. But like, where do you think people with that old school mentality like almost succeed more?
Well, I think they're almost forced to go to social media because, you know, growing up, you pull in your driveway, there'd be a phone book in the
Mhm.
the yellow bag. I just think that's the new way of marketing. You really have to be forced, I think, to go to social media. So I think the older people are getting through, and the younger generation is helping them. I know, you know, my son Carlo. You
Mhm.
know, I have him, his best friend Ethan. I have a guy that does my editing that's my age, and I have another kid in Ohio, Nick. He's young, so I got three young kids behind me. So that's what helps me, and that's what taught me as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I mean, the older generation, you know, you're gonna need help for sure. I mean, I don't always like the social media, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But you know, you roll with it. You got to roll with the
Yeah.
times. It is 2021. You know.
You know, now that I'm like bringing it up, I remember listening to, I don't know if you know Gary V. He's like the business marketing guy. He's like the business marketing guy for like kids my age and younger, like on social media. So he says, because I had a question, it was funny. I was listening to like his talk one time, and I was wondering, I go, what? Because there's definitely like older people in business, like that are more experienced, more veterans of business. Like, why?
Right.
What traits do they have that would translate well to social media? Like that was a question that I had, and
It's a good question.
sure as shit, like I'm nowhere. I'm just listening to a recorded talk. He like answers the question. Like he goes, the old school people, they would do the baker's dozen back in the day, adding one more. And he goes, they can translate that into social media with offering more and
That's right. That's
extending
right.
and being like more personable on social media. So that's like their advantage to
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Like you do a lot for businesses. I see that. I do a lot for businesses. I throw out, especially when the pandemic came out, there were a lot of the restaurants who were just doing takeout food. I was blowing up everyone's restaurant. There was restaurants that I haven't even gone to that I
Mhm.
just knew through people that, you know, to help them. And you know, it's just the social media is just I mean, you have to be healthy on it too, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, look at I'm sitting here talking to you all serious. and then you go through my Instagram and you see me in the outfits. People are like, "What?" I know for me. So back to your question about being old school. I think a lot of people were surprised to see me come out because I was always a private guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was no angel in my day, that's for sure. And I think, people are like, what the hell is he doing? You know what I mean? But I also think the people knew that I have a fun personality. So, you gotta, like I said, you gotta roll with it. Take one day at a time, I guess, with it.
For sure, for sure. Now,
And I learn off of people like you,
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like, you can't stop learning, or else that's kind of when
No.
that's when
You're very good, though.
die.
You're very good. You are very good. You kids are very good. I have to. That's that generation. You guys know what to do. Like I basically pretty much just know how to check my email and do the Instagram.
having a good team around you helps, and having a good support group with anything, business, social media, with anything.
Yes, 100%, 100%, absolutely.
Now I know that you have a game plan behind this, so tell everybody like what you want to do, like where you see the Boston Guido brand taking off.
So like for me, I told you I'd like to get into acting. I ran my own business for years, and I think I'd be a good actor. I think The Irishman and all those guys, they're all outdated. Joe Pesci, all those guys. I think they need new guys. I think they need new guys like myself. There's a few guys out there as well, a few actors. Everybody's getting older. The Sopranos. If you watch The Sopranos now, all those guys.
I'm binge watching it again right now.
Yeah, you have to do that it's almost like a tradition. You have to do that every 3 to 5 years. But I'd like to get into acting. I'd like to get into commercials for businesses, help businesses. I'm all about business too, number one. Yeah. But I love to do, get into fun acting. I'd love to get into mob movie stuff like that.
I should put you in contact with my dude, Robert Nash. What he does is a world-class Robert De Niro impression. I'm not sure if you've seen him online at all.
That sounds familiar to me. Yeah, that sounds familiar. He's pretty good, I think.
He's from Buffalo, and he's kind of a big celebrity around here. I see him on billboards and doing commercials with people. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's fun. The acting is fun. I think I'm pretty good at it. I can do a lot of impressions. There's some things that I can do that I haven't done yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, should I do it? And my son's like, you got to do this. You got to do that. We have the folder right here. Everything's written. And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I don't want to make it too big a fool out of myself,
Nah, at the same time, too, people like online, people that follow, they have such a short attention span. And I think that's the main hurdle for a lot of people putting out content. They're just so afraid of what people are going to think about them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and if I can help anybody too, I've had someone hit me up from the UK, Italian kid, yesterday. He wants to start doing videos. He was asking me for advice. And I just said, be yourself, practice, look into the camera, take some notes, write a little script what you want to say, and, you'll get it. You just, he says, oh, you look very confident. Yeah, I'm confident, but, you still, I have to write some things down. Sometimes on my shout outs, I do write them down just to make sure, because I don't want to forget anybody. And sometimes I do, and I'm like, especially if I didn't write it down. So
yeah, that's another big trademark of yours, the shout outs. Where did that originate? When was the first shout out? When did you do the first Friday shout out?
Jesus, that was over a year ago now. Mm-hmm. I would say a little less than a year. A little less than a year. But it's been a while. I do the shout outs I wanted to give, because what happened was there was people like hitting me up. Oh, you're telling me whatever personal problems. Oh, can you give me a shout out in my business? And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing those on Fridays, Friday shout outs. And I feel like it helps people. It gives them a lift. And there's people that are down and out, and they would say, wow, he shouted me out. I think people feel important about that, and that I do that. And I like doing that. It's exhausting. And sometimes I think about not doing it. And, but it is tough. It is tough to really buckle down every Friday, especially when I'm traveling to my house in Florida. I got to think and look, okay, I got to write this down. And I got to, before I go inside Marshall's, because I just left home, I got to do the shout out. You know what I mean? So, it is a job. People don't realize, like, even like yourself and me, like when you do these skits and these acting and the shout outs, like it's a lot of work.
Oh my God.
And we do it for nothing,
Mm-hmm.
And brothers from Brooklyn are doing skits, and You know, they're hard. You know, they're very hard
I
to
know,
do.
dude. I have so many great ideas. It's just like trying to find the time because at the end of the day, like the wooden spoon to sit down, as much as I would love for it to be my full-time job, hopefully it is one day, but I've got clients that are my main priority. Like when I work with somebody, when somebody trusts me with their business, that's first and foremost. But that's why we're shooting a podcast at 8:30 at night on a Thursday to get our name out
I know.
there and keep
I know.
plugging away.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, when you're tired, and sometimes when you're doing things and you want to just relax and you don't want to do anything. I mean, there's been times we've done videos on a whim where I'll be laying down with my son, he'd be in the living room, be going through the Instagram, watching TV, and I'm like, I just come up with a video. He's like, oh Jesus, what'd you do? This is it. Let's do it right now. Oh, do I have the prop? Do I have this?
Uh-huh.
And I do have a prop closet here. People look in the I
I
show
see
the
him. I
kids.
see him in the background right now. If you guys are listening, you got to check out the YouTube and see all the props in the background. We got a Italian flag Jason mask, a baseball bat.
Yeah, yeah, I do. And I got your
We
spoon over
got the
here.
big wooden spoon.
I'll never forget that you made that for me and did that for me. I love my spoon. I love it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's awesome. I know you sell them, and it's a heavy. This thing's heavy. You can, like I always say, you could smash somebody over the head with
That's
this thing.
hardwood, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
telling you,
I'm
right
grateful
now.
that I got that from you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Right now,
I've had
actually,
that. I put that on my podcast too.
oh yeah. Plug the podcast real quick. You have the dinner
Well,
table.
I haven't the dinner. I come up with that. I have a lot of episodes written, and I did a few, and they were funny. I do them with my son. And, you know, I spend time with my son Carlo too. You know, I do have some guests. Again, I'm busy. I like to do the videos more than the dinner table podcast, but I'm going to continue them. I'm not going to go as crazy as like you and do that every week, and but I'll do them from time to time. You know, I
Yeah.
got a
I
couple
mean,
things. You know.
yeah,
Written, but
originally we were only putting because I had so many recorded that I never released, especially on Apple and Spotify. And big shout out to the BICBP Radio Network and Matt and Chris. Those are my podcast guys that they helped me out so much. And then
God bless him.
the first month that I just put 2 episodes out. First month I got almost a couple thousand listeners just out of nowhere. It didn't really even advertise it or anything. I go, okay, this could go somewhere. I have a bunch in the bank. Let's pump out one a week. And then before you know it, you run out of all the ones that you have in the bank and trying to come up with some stuff. And it's definitely a job. It could be a full-time job.
It is a job. And I appreciate, like, when I see someone like you, brothers from Brooklyn, like I said, or just different ones, like you don't really realize like a lot of the hard work, the running around, like it costs money too. Like I order a lot of stuff on Amazon, the wigs. I did the one with the COVID vaccine, the eye and the ear. You got to order that stuff. 2-sided tape. You know what I mean?
Dude, I know. I have a video that I'm getting ready to put on YouTube soon, hopefully, about my I was on Ancestry.com and just kind of showing my family history. And I'm like, I guess I'm not a blood relative, but my great great uncle is Rocco Perry, who is nicknamed the Al Capone of Canada. So I kind of like drew that distinction. I have like a
Don't
screen.
mess with the wooden spoon, boss. That's crazy, huh?
My family from Hamilton, Ontario.
That is wild. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of Italians up there up in Canada, and you know, you're in upstate New York, so it makes sense.
I know. I actually have a really funny story. We'll get to that too. Speaking of like spending money on stuff, I had that TikTok trend of going to Italy on Tinder and taking screenshots of all these girls on Tinder. So I was paying for that because I was getting hundreds of thousands of views. Like, oh, this is fine. And I go to log on the other day, right? And my Tinder account got banned.
How come? Yours? You don't even do anything wrong.
I'm banned for life on Tinder. It was there's no way to get around it. I was researching it for like an hour and a half to one day. I think I must have got reported, or you know what I think it actually is they must know when you screenshot profiles, and I was screenshotting like shit, like probably 100, 200 girls Tinder profiles. Like, this guy's a freaking nut job. He needs to get off the app.
Yeah, right. You don't know because you don't know today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
but I
funny.
see.
You get banned for doing just funny stuff, and the guy that does creepy shit, they don't ban
I
him.
know. Well, they're smarter than me.
Yeah, probably, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I'm sorry if I put your Tinder on my TikTok and you were upset about that. So if there's any girls out there that are upset, I'm sorry.
Forgive him, Tinder and girls. He's a good kid. I know Nico very well. He's a loving kid. Come
You
on,
know the funniest part
and he's
about
single
that?
too.
Yeah. The funniest part about that is that some of those girls in Italy, they're in Italy, and I was like just putting my location all over the place. Some of them would find the freaking TikToks and they'd comment on them. It was insane. There was
What
a
they
bunch
say?
of them.
They
They
say
just said,
something. Do they know it was you? They knew it was you.
no, they would
Oh,
find the TikToks after I posted it and then
yeah.
comment on it and said, "Oh my God, that's me." LOL.
Oh my God.
It's
Jesus
so
Christ.
funny.
Small world. Hey, you
Yeah.
never
So
know.
I got some girls when I go to Italy, and I just
Yeah,
go
you're hooked up. You got some connections now.
travel
You
all up and down the boat, and
Speaking of Italy, are you going to go there anytime soon?
I'm really, really trying.
Me
You
too.
know, in a realistic date is definitely 2022. I'm
Yeah,
gonna I want to get out there this year, but realistically, I know it's probably not gonna be till the summer of 2022.
that's right. But that'll be here before you know it. Time flies.
I know. I've been looking at the there's an Instagram account. I don't even know if I told you about this. It's called Your Cheap Dream Home. I give these guys more shout outs than anything in the world. They've got like a couple 100,000 followers. But what they do is they go all around like Europe and Mexico and South America, and they find all these beautiful homes like on the beach in these mountains, and they're all under $100,000 US. And they're just gorgeous homes. So
Yeah, well, Italy, they do that. There's a lot of homes in Italy. Lorraine Bracco just bought
yeah,
a
she bought
home
like
in
the one
Sicily
dollar homes.
for $1.
The problem with those are they're usually run down. They're in bad neighborhoods, and you have to
Oh yeah.
renovate them for the stipulation. But these are just homes for sale by real estate agents. They're on the freaking beach. They're in Greece and Crete on the beach, or they're up in the mountains in
Jesus,
Italy.
I'm ready.
I know.
I'll
So
get
I'm
rid
like,
of my Florida house to go to do that.
I know. I could see myself. So ideally, like the whole goal now, my whole mindset changed after I found this account. Like I want to have like 5, 10 houses all over the place, rent them out on Airbnb, and just whenever I want to go somewhere, I just take it off for that week or
See,
whatever, and just
you got that business mind. You're doing the
yeah.
right thing. You'll. That's a good goal. I would do that.
I know when I go to Italy, because it happened when I was in Florida in October. I just did not want to come home, and I just know when I go to Italy, there's a chance that I might not
I
have
never
a
want to come home. I know how you feel. You know, I have a house there. I never want to come
yeah.
home. You know what I mean? I'm getting ready to go down there again. So
I know. Well, first, I think I got to come up to Boston soon. I've always been
good. Hey, I'm
I've
waiting
always
for
been
you.
interested. There's a ton of like influencers out there in Boston too. I should make a trip.
You make a trip anytime. You
I
know,
was supposed to come to the St. Anthony's Fest.
I can't even believe I have a mug upstairs. I should have had it here. St. Anthony's, the one from last year, the one that before this past year. It's so sad. These feasts, the Fisherman's, the St. Anthony's, St. Agrippina, everything. It's so sad that these feasts were canceled. I mean,
I
these
don't
feasts
think
go back years and years.
hundreds of years. I know. I don't even. I does not look good for this year either. I'm gonna be honest. I've heard
No,
from the
no.
grape. I'm friends with a lot of the people that put them on, and through the grapevine, it does not look good for this year.
Speaking of feasts that I want everybody to know, there's down in Tampa, Ybor City, YBOR, is a Sicilian feast. I met actually Sal Valentinetti. I got his picture up there twice down there. Great feast. It's you can walk around, drink wine. They have all the things for the kids. Great food and beautiful area down in Ybor City, Tampa. It's usually the first week in April every year.
You know what? That was on my list for possibilities for last year. That was
Yeah,
I had a whole
I go every
calendar.
year.
I had what I'm telling you, I had a whole in January, the first freaking week of January. I might have even been December, November after the last 2019. I had a whole calendar spread out. I had every single festival that was happening on the East Coast. I was trying to plan out freaking car
I remember you
rides.
told me something like that.
I had
Yeah,
everything planned out, and then March comes rolling around. I go, I don't know if I should, because now it's getting time for me
yeah.
to order stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna hold off for a week, and then by like in 2 weeks, practically every single one of them was canceled. And
That's exactly because I was down at Foxwoods to go see Tony Bennett, and I believe it was March, and it got
Mhm.
canceled. They said it wasn't canceled. We drove down, slept over there. Next morning was canceled. We come back. So
I
that's
know.
right around.
Well,
That's when shit started hitting the fan.
I know I have so many. I can't announce it yet, but right now the woodenspoonstore.com is closed. I'm
I
shut
saw
down.
that.
I'm
Yeah.
renovating the website. I've got a huge announcement for that. I'm going to be doing
Good.
something completely new, which I wish I knew if the festivals are happening, because this had been perfect. It's perfect for the festivals, or I'll have it
Yep.
for when they start back up. But I got a huge thing coming for that, or have new t-shirt designs, new merch. I'm just like, I wish the festivals were coming, because that's where I
I
love
know.
meeting the people. I love meeting everybody. I love like interacting. I love
You
being
do something for the festival up in near you, right?
in Buffalo. Yeah, I'm in charge
Buffalo.
of
Yeah.
the social
Yeah.
media here, and I was looking to help out a lot of the Italian festivals across the nation. I mean, if anybody's
That's
listening that's
big.
part of the Italian festivals, like hit me up. I'd love, because we grew the Buffalo Italian Festivals Facebook page 50% in a month. It's just
That's
because
amazing.
it's a lot. I feel bad.
Good for you, Nico.
A lot of the federations, they're just I'm not saying this to like be mean by any sort of mean. They're like they're older generation, they're old school. They're keeping the traditions alive. So God bless them for doing that. But
Yeah. Right.
there's not enough young people, even in their 20s and 30s, that are stepping up and helping out the festivals. So
Right. Right.
they don't know enough. They know what they've been brought up. What they do very well. But it's a new society now. We have to start attracting a lot of younger people to start joining your local federations, helping out with the Italian
Yeah.
festival, because that's how you're going to keep the traditions alive.
That's right. Yeah. That's why I look up to you, even though you're younger than me, that you keep that tradition alive. Brothers from Brooklyn. You have all these young
Yeah.
kids
I
that
mean,
are trying to
especially
do it.
because that was like my main focus. Like, I'm not worried about followers of not, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't love every single one of my followers, but like, I really want to attract more of the really young audience, like the kids that are
Yeah.
13 that see some funny stuff that their parents or grandparents do. They don't maybe understand, or they
Good
think it's
idea.
weird.
Good
They see
idea.
that everybody else is also experiencing the same thing. And I want to attract those kids to keep the traditions alive, join the
I can
federations when they're old enough, and really count, because that's what keeps traditions alive. You have to keep the young people coming.
I can relate to that because my kids growing up, I would always take them to Boston. We'd be out at the North End all the time. I hang on the North End.
Mm-hmm.
We take the kids down. The waiters and the waitresses always loved my kids. We were always out, and we went to all the festivals. And now my kids are older, and they're saying, "Geez, I missed the festival. I missed it. Santapio's restaurant.
Yeah.
I missed Angelo over here." And
Actually,
things have changed.
I'm gonna show you a really freaking funny picture. You're gonna laugh. I have this. I want to do a YouTube video on it, but I have a picture. My mom put me in when Niagara Falls used to have an Italian festival. She entered me in, I guess, I don't even know what it's freaking called, but it's like some Italian pageant. I was a little pageant boy, right? My mom put me, and I have this old school little Italian outfit.
Mannaggia.
I
Oh,
won
bello, bello.
I forget what I even won. I won some award for being, I guess, the cutest little Italian boy.
See, see, she got you into this whole thing on the
Oh my God,
TV and everything else.
I'm gonna post this
You should post that.
on Saturday, and if everybody's listening, you got to check out the Instagram right now, because there's this
Absolutely.
picture of me in this old school. I don't even know what this is. My mom
You
wrote it down.
still have a full head of hair. God bless you. Unlike me.
Hopefully, I don't lose it anytime soon.
But you know what, Nico? Like back to what you were saying about you want to help the young kids and all of. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm really glad that I brought my kids around to do that, and now they miss that and they look forward to that. And if that
exactly.
next generation does the same thing, New York, Philly, whatever. I mean, you'll appreciate that. The food, all the vendors and stuff like that, and it's fun. Everybody gets to meet everybody. I mean, in Boston. Yeah, I walk down the North End. I know this guy. I know that guy. I mean, not so much anymore because it's changed, but we have to keep that Italian tradition going.
Yeah, I feel like
And
I mean, there's only a select group of cities that are still like that, and it's just
yeah,
keeps fading. It's a scary thing, but that's why,
it's
like,
definitely watered
I think
down.
that's
It's
why
watered
people
down.
like us and all of our pages, they're important to really attract a younger group of people. And like, I guess everybody, and it's like, it's hard to like, Jesus, freaking 100, 200 years ago, Italians only married Italians, Irish only married Irish. But now we're such a diverse group of people. But that's fine if you have a little bit of Italian blood. Like, obviously, well, I welcome anybody with open arms, Italian or not. Just if you have funny stories or knew somebody or
That's
had
right.
family friends that are Italian, like, yeah, it's a tradition. Like, I would love. I've been to Greek festivals, Lebanese festivals. It's so fun to see other people's cultures and see what they do. Like I thoroughly enjoy learning about other people's cultures and celebrating what they celebrate. You wish me a happy Hanukkah, I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas. It's what you celebrate is what I celebrate. Like people got to learn to just relax.
At the end of the day, we all value the same tradition.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God. We're all human beings at the end of the day. What makes us each person unique. And I love learning about other people's culture. I'm happy to teach you about my culture.
Right.
People got to stop being so hateful.
Yeah, well, hopefully 2021 will be less hateful.
Not looking good.
That ain't looking good.
Crack him with the spoon.
Crack him with the spoon. Anybody gets out of hand, hit him with the spoon.
I know, man. But I can't thank you enough for hopping on the call. This is a freaking blast. It was the best start to the year, I think, podcast-wise.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you had me on, and hopefully I got a new brand coming out. I can't say what it is, but I've been working on it for a couple months, and I'm trying to do it right. And that's all I can say because I'll give it.
We'll post. Well, I'm sure we'll post the hell out of it once it's known. So stay tuned.
I wanted to say to my followers and yours, especially mine, I thank you for all the support, and I'm really grateful that I've met a lot of people and talked to a lot of people. And if I can help anybody, I really will. And I'm very, very happy and grateful for a good Instagram.
Tell everybody where they could follow you and check you out.
So you can follow me, the Boston Guido, on Instagram. You can go into my, the link tree. I got all my links in there. My Boston Guido store. But like I said, keep an eye out for the new brand. And I'm also going to be putting up Italian umbrellas. That's my new thing. You've been seeing me with the umbrella. So I'm going to have the Italian flag umbrellas up soon.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, bro. And for everybody else, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, follow the Wooden Spoon Media on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, any place you want us. Drop a comment if you want to see any cool videos, new guests, anything like that. But
don't forget your spoon, baby.
Don't forget the spoons.
Taste the sauce on this.
All right, man. Well, you take care. Everybody else listening, ciao, and I'll talk to you guys soon.